This is She Creates Business, a podcast for wedding pros. Your host, Kinsey Roberts, interviews incredible women in the wedding industry who are making their mark and creating success on their terms. Join the conversation.
Well, hey there and happy Tuesday. Welcome to She Creates Business, a podcast for wedding pros. This is in fact your host, Kinsey Roberts. Thanks so much for being here today. As always, really appreciate you gals and guys, if there's any guys out there listening, of course. Today is Tuesday, so we are back with another Tip Tuesday. Tip Tuesday is my summer series where I just spend about 10 or 15 minutes with you, either sharing a strategy or something I'm trying in my own wedding business, Vista View Events at Open Heart Ranch, which is the venue I own in Colorado with my sister-in-law, Katie, or, kind of just something that I'm doing in the background of the podcast or whatever. Today, I am just going to chat with you about some of the books I'm currently reading. I know that it's summertime, so honestly, I don't expect you to pick up these books right now because we're all enjoying the weather. I do, of course, love reading because that's been part of my life forever. So I thought I would just share these books with you. Some of them are business nonfiction books and some of them aren't because I'm a human being with different interests. Surprise! And so I thought I would just share some nonfiction and some fiction books with you. And, if you have some time when the fall hits and you want to add them to your to-be-read list, I think that would be great. Before I get there, I have a really, really, really exciting announcement that I kind of want to tell you guys, or not kind of, I want to tell you about it because I actually need you to tell me if you're even interested. So, okay, here we go. I'm just going to jump right in because I'm too excited. You know that I own a venue. I just said that. And I've mentioned it quite a bit. And something that I've always wanted to do is host my own live in-person event. Our venue in Colorado is absolutely stunning. It's on the private ranch that my husband's family owns. It is a waterfront venue. It has an outdoor waterfront patio. It is all white inside. It's absolutely beautiful. And I love people. If you've met me at conferences, and I hope, some of you have, that I really enjoy meeting new women and learning from them and hearing their stories. That's part of the reason that I started this whole podcast. I'm getting ready to head back to Creative at Heart next month in August. And I've really been inspired by all of the live events I've attended. And I'm thinking of doing my own. I have a specific idea around it. Right now, I'm calling it She Creates Business, a summit for wedding pros. Even the name could change. It's really just an idea, but I want to tell you guys about it because if you are interested, I would really like for you to head over to the landing page I created and just pop your email in. It is not an email that will be added to my main email list. It is strictly to gauge interest for an all-inclusive summit for between 50 and 100 wedding professionals. It's for wedding professionals. If you have another creative business, you could come, but I really want the content to be very niche down and specified because I want it to be a summit where we implement, where we take action, where we make plans, and where we actually work on our business. So if you head to the landing page, you'll see that one of the highlights is implementation over motivation. I think that if you attend live events, you're already kind of intrinsically motivated because you're there. And I love motivation, and I think it's really important to stay motivated. But at some point, we just have to do the work. And what better place to do that where we're away from our regular life, away from all of the things in our offices, and actually do the work. So that's my thought around the summit right now. Again, it's an idea. I really want to do it, but I want to gauge interest first. So you can head to bit.ly/WedPro Summit. So that's bit.ly/WedPro Summit. And just toss your email in there. Let me know you're interested. If you want to email me with questions or thoughts or ideas, my email is also on that landing page. It's kinsey@shecreatesbusinesspodcast.com. I will answer you. So bit.ly/WedPro Summit. Toss your email in there. Let me know if you're interested. Again, I don't have everything fleshed out. I just want to gauge some interest, but kind of the main highlights are this. It's going to be implementation over motivation. It's not going to be 20 speakers coming across the stage. It might be around 10 speakers or so. There's going to be actual time to work on your business, implementation over motivation. You will have a plan. The summit's going to be in 2018, early to 2018. So those are my thoughts right now. Head to bit.ly/WedPro Summit. Give me your email address if you're interested, and we'll go from there. Super excited about this, you guys. I can hardly stand it. Okay, I hope you're interested. It's also going to be in the show notes. So tap your podcast player, hit the link, head over there on your mobile device. Super easy, unless you're driving, of course. Okay, let's get to the couple of books that I'm reading right now. Hopefully, there's a few here you haven't read yet. You can add to your to-be-read list if you are like me and enjoy reading nonfiction, and then, of course, some fiction books as well. So I'm going to start with a couple of my favorites that I've actually read multiple times. The first is a book called Utility by Jay Baer. It's called Utility. So why smart marketing is about help, not hype. Jay Baer is a master marketer. He's the co-author of The Now Revolution and multiple other books, including Hug Your Haters. He runs a podcast called The Social Pros Podcast. He's a prolific speaker, and he really helps some of the biggest companies in the world with their marketing strategy. And he's also has one of the nicest voices I've ever heard, meaning I've never met him. I don't even know who he is. Obviously, he doesn't know me, but he seriously sounds like one of the nicest people. Just his voice is so friendly and welcoming. I listen to his podcast all the time. And this book, I can hear his voice come through because he truly believes in what he's writing about. So Utility, of course, is a nonfiction business book. It is about marketing. It's about marketing in a way that's helpful to your customers and your clients rather than just selling. It's an awesome book. I absolutely love it. It was written in 2011, 2014. I don't really know, but let me check. 2013. Okay, cool. It was written in 2013. I've read it probably 6 times because even though it's a nonfiction book, it reads kind of like a novel just because Jay is so good at storytelling and weaving in examples into real stories. And so it's not one of those boring, dry books, blah, blah, blah. This is how you post a Facebook. It's really fun read. And so again, that's Utility by Jay Baer. You can grab it on Amazon if you want to. And then the next book I also love is newer, but I've read it about 3 times already. And it's a book called They Ask, You Answer by a man named Marcus Sheridan, who is also a master marketer. He runs a business called The Sales Lion. And actually, the reason I found him is because he wrote the foreword back in 2013 to Jay Baer's book, Utility. And in the foreword, he tells his story of how he pulled his pool and spa company, his local pool and spa company in Virginia, kind of out of the gutter in the recession by using content marketing and a strategy that he coined as They Ask, You Answer, which is whatever your clients or customers are asking, you answer them. Doesn't matter what the question is, you answer. And by doing that, you can immediately stand out from the crowd because your competitors are likely not answering those tough questions. Probably they're not answering a lot of questions, but particularly those tough questions that would actually be helpful to our clients and customers, probably, your competitors are not answering. And Marcus Sheridan really found that in the pool and spa company. He writes about competitors, in a really factual, non-biased way. He writes about people in his industry, he writes about different types of pools. Even though he only sells one type of swimming pool, he'll write about other ones and what the benefits are. I mean, he is a complete open book, and he totally turned around his pool company in a recession, which I don't know if you agree or not, but I would say that is phenomenal because a pool is it's a luxury, right? So in a recession, those luxury items go downhill fast. And for him to be able to turn his business around by spending less in marketing dollars in a recession, I think is just absolutely phenomenal. So They Ask, You Answer. Again, phenomenal writer, great book, reads more there is nonfiction business content, but Marcus Sheridan is a great writer, and he also has a lot of great stories, which he includes in the book. And so it's, again, not one of those boring, dry business books, here's what you should do on your blog, but still really good information. So They Ask, You Answer by Marcus Sheridan is the next book that I'm currently reading. And so the final kind of business book that I'm diving back into, I guess I'm rereading all of these books. I tend to, if it's a business book, unless I'm really excited about it, I tend to reread the ones that I like because I don't really think there's that much new information coming out. I think it's just being said in a different way. And so I tend to just kind of reread the ones that I think are great. So the ones the last kind of nonfiction book I'm reading right now is The E-Myth Revisited. I'm sure you've heard of this book. It's sold a ton of copies. It's by Michael Gerber. And it's It's brilliant. If you haven't read it yet, I do recommend picking it up. The subtitle is Why Most Small Businesses Don't Work and What to Do About It. And I think that for us, we're all kind of small, maybe even mid-sized businesses, for everybody listening. Small businesses, we're owned by 1, 2, 3 people, maybe. We are kind of small but mighty. We're doing some scrappy guerrilla marketing. And I think the E-Myth is a great book for us to get our hands on, maybe even once a year, just kind of to like cleanse the palate, realize, what we need to be doing as small businesses, and that like hope marketing and just kind of like, oh, I hope this works, isn't really going to help us grow our businesses in a sustainable way that can provide, stability and legacy for our families and, help us achieve goals that we've set out for ourselves. So the E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber, awesome book. I really recommend it. Okay, so I know this is a really short episode today, but I just want to tell you about 2 novels that I kind of have on my shelf. One of them I haven't really started yet, but I'm really excited about it, so I wanted to tell you guys about it. It's called A Million Junes by Emily Henry. It is a book that I got from Book of the Month Club. If you haven't heard of Book of the Month Club, just go to bookofthemonth.com. It is a subscription service. For $10 a month, they will send you one brand new hardback book. And I think it's fun. It's fun to get new books in the mail. And I tend to, there's always 4 or 5 choices, I guess, every month. And so what I like about it is you can pick a book that maybe you wouldn't go grab off the shelf, right? Because we all have our own tastes. And so what I like about Book of the Month Club is I can, for $10, I can get a brand new hardback cover, which is, a third of the price of traditionally, going into Barnes and Noble. And I try to pick a book that I wouldn't normally pick up. And so that was A Million Junes for me. And A Million Junes is kind of a modern day Romeo and Juliet story. It's 2 families who are, they actually, there's some like fantastical elements to it, but there's 2 families who do not like each other. There's a boy and a girl in each family, and they, become friends. I won't really spoil the story for you, but it centers around a girl named June, of course. And so anyway, pick it up if it sounds interesting to you. It's by Emily Henry, A Million Junes. And let me kind of just read a little bit for you. So for as long as June O'Donnell, that's the main character, has been alive, her parents have had only one rule: stay away from the Engert family. I don't know if I'm saying that right. But when June collides, quite literally, with Sal Engert, sparks fly and everything June has always known is thrown into chaos. So that is just a little blurb from the jacket cover. Pretty excited about that one. And then the final one that I'm reading is, I actually kind of stopped reading it because I'm a sissy and I don't really like scary books, but it is called, it's a book by Tana French, who I know is a popular thriller author. It's called Faithful Place. It's a novel. She's a New York Times bestselling author. I kind of put it down and had to put it away because it's pretty aggressive, and it is a thriller. There's also some like aggressive parts to it. So anyway, I don't know. Tana French, she was recommended to me. She's super popular. Don't know if I'm going to be able to get into her, but that's what I'm reading right now, you guys. And honestly, if you are a nonfiction reader like I am as well, I would encourage you to kind of get away from nonfiction for a little while and jump into some novels, jump into some fiction, read a magazine, read some blog posts, read the newspaper, whatever, wherever you kind of like to consume information, or actually get away from the newspaper because the news can be kind of like daunting sometimes. Maybe take a break. Not that I don't think you should be well informed, but maybe take a break from that and really just hop into some novels, like A Million Junes. Doesn't that sound kind of cute? And I'm sure I'm sure there's a bigger picture and, kind of a deeper point to the book. But I think it's important for us as business owners to step away from like the, all business all the time mentality and enjoy ourselves. And for me, I can do that in a book, and maybe you can too. So thanks for listening today. I hope I've added something to your to be read list, and I'd love to know what you thought about it. Before I go, I just want to tell you one more time, I would love it if you would let me know if you're interested in She Creates Business, a summit for wedding pros. You can do that by signing up for the interest email list at bit.ly/wedprosummit. Again, that is not going to be added to my traditional email list that I send to my other people. It's just to gauge interest. bit.ly/wedprosummit. It is a summit for wedding pros in 2018. I'm thinking between 50 and 100 women, where we're going to implement over motivate, because I think we're already motivated when we do that. It's an all-inclusive summit. It will be at Vista View Events, which is my wedding venue on my husband's family's private ranch in Colorado. excited to see if you're interested. I hope you guys have the best day, and I will see you back here on Thursday with another interview.
Thank you so much for listening to She Creates Business. Please take a minute and head to iTunes to leave an honest review so we can help more wedding pros find the show.